Hey guys, welcome to this week's track guide. This week we're at Donington National, coming towards the end of the season. I much prefer this track to the GP circuit we did last season because I hate hairpins and I just can't get on with them, and the GP circuit has got those two extra nasty hairpins at the end of it. I think this is a much better circuit and I'm sure most of you will agree with, well, hopefully agree with me. The last chicane's a little bit nastier though, but it's a really fun track for Skippy racing, so should be a good week for everyone. On to the weather then, guys. The track temperature is currently 24 degrees, and date and time set to what the official sessions are going to be set to next week. And onto the setup. I'm currently up from 54 up to 55% brake bias. I used 55 last week, and it was okay, so I'm going to try it again this week, but I may go back to 54. Minimum tyre pressures all around, +2 on the SPO because of the big curbs through the last chicane. 8 on the anti-roll bar, and 7.9 litres of fuel for qualifying, and 11.8 litres of fuel for the race. Onto the guide then. The lap we're going to look at this week is a 1:17.088. Could have gone to the 16s, my optimals are in the 16s, but I got a little bit slidey through the last chicane, as you will see at the end of this guide. Remember guys, if this video helps you out, please remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And the B-lap, O-lap, telemetry, replay, setup files are all on my Discord. There's an invite link to the Discord down in the description if you want to join that as well. Okay then, coming across the start-finish line, coming down towards turn 1. I'm going to bring the car right over to the left-hand side of the track. And you can see the pit exit here. And we're also going to cut into the pit exit to open up this corner. So just as we get to the end, you can see me turn into the pit exit. You don't want to turn in too early because there's a slowdown. So if you go in too early, you'll get about a 1.5 second slowdown, which nobody wants. So just have a go in practice and see how much you can get used to turning. You can go in a little bit earlier and a little bit wider than I have here, but any more than this really, and you're going to start looking at getting that slowdown, which you don't want. There you go, the cockpit. Okay, I'm braking just as we get past here, about halfway or so. Just before here. Off the accelerator, onto the brakes, into this corner. We're going to drop the car into third, and then we're going to drop the car late into second. You see, I'm holding the brakes at about 30% into the corner. I'm also holding the accelerator because at about 10% because the car can get a little bit slidey. I'm going through here in second this lap, but sometimes last season or the season before I was going through here in third gear. So just have a go in practice and see what works for you. Second is probably the quicker gear to be in, but if you stay in third, then it won't be as slidey, but it probably will be a little bit slower. So down in the second, holding the accelerator and the brake at the same time just really stabilizes the car and stops it from sliding or getting away from you too much. Down in the second, all this curb on the inside and then back on the power really early. So it's a short shift up into third. Just get a good drive out of the corner and down this next straight. I say short shift. It's not really a short shift. You would be going up into third a little bit later on the exit of the corner, but not too much. Okay. Up in the fourth, tight over this corner. Curb. I guess it's a corner. Over this one. We're going to go up in the fifth gear as we come down here. And then cut across this left-hand curb. Keeping the car right over to the left-hand side of the track. Oh, and what have we done there? Oops. Right, left hand side of the track, fifth gear. We come up towards it, we're going to drop the car into fourth gear. We're going to get on this outside curb here, just to really open up this next corner. Turning the car in, you see how early I am back on the power, and then we're going to cut right over this inside curb. And then use all of this on the exit. Not the easiest corner in the world to master. I'm still not the most consistent through here. But practice makes perfect. You really need to open up. The thing is about this corner, you really need to get over to the left-hand side of the track and then really cut this inside bit of the track, and then that should give you a straight enough line to then be able to stay on the track and then not run out onto the grass out here. Which I promise you will see people doing. People will be running right onto this grasscrete, and then they'll get a wheel on this grass here, and then they'll spin across the track and they'll end up in this tyre barrier over this side. Speaking from experience. Okay, up in the 4th gear, we're going to cut across this curb here. Let the car drift out to the right hand side. Keeping it in 4th gear. No need to go up in the 5th here. Cut across this left hand curb as we come up towards this slightly tricky right hander. But it's okay when you get used to it. Just as we get off the end of this apex, or what I use is this little bit of white color change on the tarmac here. But just as we hit this on the road, off the accelerator, on the brakes, down to 3rd gear. Again, feathering the throttle into the corner, just trying to carry as much speed and keep up as much speed into the corner as I can, before we're confident enough to get back on the power again, drifting the car to the left hand side. Again, you can use all of this curb on the outside, just be careful of the running too wide and getting on the grass. Back on the tarmac up for this, this is probably my worst corner on the track, being this blind right-hander. I'm okay through most other corners, but this corner is, I don't know, it's just the thing about it being blind and right. You know where the corner is, you know where to turn in, but because you can't see the corner, it's difficult, and you end up missing it sometimes and taking the wrong line, and you don't lose that much time, but sometimes it all turns into a mess. Okay, 4th gear, as we come up towards the brow of the hill. Now, the braking point for this is, you see this bit of the hill, not the best braking mark in the world, but this is what I do. You see this bit, this steepness of the hill here, and then it gets steeper at this point. So when it starts to get steeper, so this line here is where I start to brake. Oh, and I've done it again. Why do I keep clicking the wrong buttons today? Right. So, where it gets steeper... maybe I should make a bloopers track guide. Okay. Where it gets steeper, 4th gear. Just as we get to the steeper part, off the brakes, we're going to go down into 3rd gear. Turn the car in nice and early, and then you really want to cut across this corner here. Not too much any more than this, and it's an off track, so just be careful. You really want to cut the corner to really carry as much speed through the corner as you can. But again, not too much more than that because of the off track. And then let the car run really wider on this this right hand turn. I'm normally a little bit tighter to the inside than this, maybe half a car's length over or so, but you'll see on the delta on the hot lap at the end of the video, it cost me about like 0.03 of a second or something, being this little bit wider, but that's okay. Keep the car to the left hand side of the track down this back, straight up towards the final chicane. Through the cockpit. And I've clicked the wrong button again. Da-da-da-da. I gotta stop clicking the wrong buttons. I don't know what's wrong. Don't know what's wrong with me today. Okay. We're going to be in 5th gear coming up towards this final chicane. We come up towards it, we're going to dip down this extra bit, and then as soon as we get sort of halfway down this dip is where we're braking. Really hard braking zone from 5th gear all down into 3rd. You can see a nearly 80% braking here. Trailing off the brakes a little bit into the corner, and we're going to eat this inside curb here. And then this is where I get a little bit oversteery. As you can see the car's just a little bit oversteery here. Before I straighten it back up and then get a good exit out of here. What you want to do is take this inside curb without any oversteer and then run straight across here. And clip this inside curb with the left hand tyre. You can see it a little bit better here. If you go across eat this inside curb, and then I get a little bit of oversteer on the exit, but really want to keep the car straight, clip this inside red curb, and get a good exit down across the start-finish line. So, there we have it, guys. Here's the track guide for this week, with a couple of little mistakes. That last chicane probably cost me half a tenth or so when getting into the 116s. But as always, guys, hope you have some good races this week. And if you see me in practice, give me a shout. I always like to say hi. And on that, good luck, and I'll see you next week.
You've just done it on 17.21. Sector 3 times okay. Sector 1 time is good. Sector 2 time is quick. You've just done it on 17.09. Sector 3 time is fast.